Good evening, everyone. This is episode 34 we're up to of So What's Been Happening. Sorry about this, a little bit of technical glitches to start the evening. Bourke, we could hear you, mate. I know you couldn't hear us, mate, so apologies, mate. You hadn't even gone live yet. We were just doing some testing. We'll bring Bourke back on in a minute, but super excited about our guest tonight. I will bring him up shortly, but let's try again quickly with Bourke. G'day, Bourke. How are you, mate?
Good evening, viewers.
Can you
it
hear
looks
me?
Like it's just me for the moment. Welcome to our little show, So What's Been Happening. Hopefully we'll have Aaron and Cuz on soon and our special guest. Folks, I just wanted to start on a bit of a somber note. Our little place of St Andrews, lovely little town, holds just a pub and a general store. We've had a bit of a tumultuous time last week. Some of this near and dear to us. Young Jordan Close. You go into the pub. The first time I met Jordan was she was 20, and I walked in and she was just playing the normal rubbish music over the loudspeakers. And I said, "Can you just put on something that you like?" And she put on Jason Isbell, and I was blown away that a 20-year-old would be playing Jason Isbell. A couple of she played a few songs over the speakers, and I said, "Why don't you try this guy? Try a guy called Ryan Adams." And she's going, "Bugger off, Brian Adams, can't stand Brian Adams." I said, "No, Ryan Adams." And it started a bit of a love affair. She loved Ryan Adams, and we spoke. We found people like Israel Nash and Los Ragos and Raised by Eagles, all those guys, and we had a bit of a connection with music. And she connected with my son, and she connected with my daughter, and we didn't know until after the fact. She was driving home on Friday night after a shift at the local pub, and she lost control of her car and went down an embankment, and she passed away. So tonight's show is going to be for the beautiful young lady. She used to do the gig guides at the pub, and she loved that was her bit of creativity for the week. Well, on show at the pub. Wonderful young lady. Always a smile and always a great song that we could pick up on. But she was great to everyone. She's going to be sadly missed. The pub and the community won't be the same without her. So Jordan, lots of love, darling. So the show is dedicated to young Jordan tonight. We're having some technical issues trying to get Cuz and the main man, Aaron, who pushes all the switches. He's struggling a bit tonight, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening. But tonight's going to be a big show for us. We've had some wonderful artists and wonderful sports people over the journey, and just going to carry on tonight with our featured artists. So hopefully Aaron will be with us soon and run things as he does. Our featured artist this evening. Yeah, well, I'll just say a little bit about the show. We started this in lockdown, and it was just more of a boys getting together and just saying, what's happening, what has been happening, and we talk about the good things that have been happening and the bad things that have been happening, and it's really been really beneficial to me, and hopefully it has been to a lot of people out there as well. We've had sports people, we've had some wonderful and talented sports people and inspirational people, and our musical guests have been superb. They usually come on and they give us a tune, and we give them a push and talk about shows that are coming up and the like. And tonight's going to be no different. Aaron has gone straight to the top, and a man that's probably the busiest man in Melbourne at the moment. He's you see him everywhere. He's I first met him probably 25 years ago, playing in different bands and the like. I remember seeing him. He was playing guitar in a band fronted by Francis Leach, the broadcaster, and I thought, gee, what's he getting himself into? This ginger-headed lad, and I'm wearing a bit of a. If you can pan down a bit, I've got the Cherry Massive in the Kiss logo, and I know this guy's a bit of a Kiss fan. We've spoken about Kiss and Led Zeppelin and stuff lots of times, and I know when he was a young bloke, he used to just get out his guitar and just just play stuff. And, the bands that he liked at school, no one else did. I was a bit the same, a bit of a weirdo on that front. I liked, Frank Zappa and all that sort of stuff, and a bit of free jazz and a bit of a bit of slap bass and thing. But hopefully we can get on shortly and call up our special guest. You can probably see from the setup behind me here. My darling daughter set up a few of this guy's albums. They've been playing. No surprise, it's the wonderful Ashley freaking Naylor. He's played for bands years and years, and he's just a doyen of Australian music now. So much so that with his mates in Even, his brothers in Even, they've been playing for 25 years, and they're just getting better and better. We saw them at Boogie Festival, and it was boiling hot. It was the summer was only a couple of months ago, but it was boiling hot and dusty. And Ash was a rock god. He just got up there. They only played a 50-minute set, but it was one of the best sets they've done. They're just growing. Usually after 3 or 4 albums, you start to think, oh yeah, I love that band, but geez, they were great. I love their old stuff, but these guys are just getting better and better. And I say that honestly. And they're playing. They're tighter than ever. And Matty and Wally on bass just keep it going. And Ash is playing rhythm, and he's playing lead and singing, and just going far out. This guy's just a bloody genius. We saw him do the Bowie show a while back, and it was just phenomenal. He just killed it. He did everything. He did the Ronson and the Bowie, and just kicked into the backside. He's doing the Beatles thing, and I think he's doing the Stones thing that's coming up as well. But he can just play anything. He's a human jukebox. We were lucky enough to have my daughter Emma when she was 18. We were lucky enough to have Ash play a gig for her at the Richmond Library. I had about 100 people. We had about 120 sandwiched in. It was obviously pre-COVID, because you're not allowed to do that anymore. We won't be able to again now. Things are starting to open up, which is great. We're really loving that our artists can start to get paid again and start and get back to the newish normal, or what was normal, with more people getting in. So artists can hopefully make some money again. The guys we were lucky enough to get into Cherry Bar during lockdown as I was an assistant sound recordist apparently, and there's only 6 people there, and we saw the guys just rock through the set. And they played for an hour and a bit, and it was just phenomenal. It was a great fill up during COVID that you get out there and see some of your favourite artists still. I'm just rapt to have that Ash has been good enough to join us, or hopefully to join us. We're trying to get through at the moment, folks, and have the great man on stage. No, on stage, but he's going to be on his home stage and play us a couple of tunes, obviously, and we might get to know a little bit more about Ashley and what he's up to and what's coming up for him.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Bourke doesn't realise that he seems to be the only one that he can see himself. I'm not really sure exactly, guys, what's happening. But without further ado, Bourke's given the long-winded intro, which was fantastic. But let me bring on Ash, because I know Ash can hear me. Let's get this party started and bring on the great Ashley Naylor. How are you, Ash?
Good, thanks, mate. How you going?
Good, mate. Sorry about that. We've absolutely gone to the top with our talent. So I really appreciate you being patient, mate. But for one reason or not, I'm really not sure. But Bourke can hear us, see us, but can't. He's the only one that can see himself in the camera, which is very unlike Bourke to take the limelight. So without further ado, Ash, welcome again to the show, and we might get you to play the first song, and then we'll have a chat to the boys.
No worries, mate. I'll play one for Bourke and all his friends up the pub. There is no written rule for how life can be cruel. Work it all out for yourself, watching others go through hell. If it's just a ride that we are on, I'll hold on tight till the ride is gone. It's gone on to a better road for me, and it's a better road for you. I could not help but stare at the girl with the rainbow hair. Although it was not right, she set my scene alight, and she'll hold on tight till the ride she's gone, and hold on till the ride is on. It's going on to a better road for me, and it's a better road for you. Latches on and hold on to till the ride is gone. It's gone on to a better road for me, and it's a better road for you. A better road for me. It's a better road for you.
Absolutely beautiful, Ash. I'll just bring on a couple of the boys for a chat. How are we, cuz? Lovey?
G'day, Ash.
Mr. Ashley Naylor.
Hey, Ash. Great to have you on, mate.
Ash, great to meet you, mate. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm pretty good, thanks. How are you guys?
Yeah,
good,
not
mate.
bad. Not bad. Comfort of your own home outside, away from the cold. Can't complain.
Well, the feet are cold, though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The extremities. It's all part of aging, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Look, I think I've got a few years on all years. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's a good start. That'll do. Very good start. Are you in Sydney or Melbourne right now, Ash? Sorry.
I'm in Melbourne, mate. Yeah.
You're in Melbourne, yeah. Yeah. Okay. You feel
freezing my extremities off.
Yeah. No, cool.
Sure is a little bit fresh, that's for sure, Ash. So once again, Ash, thanks for joining us. Bourke will jump back on in a second. And interestingly enough, mate, you can back it in. You were the one that was worried about the technical component, and we've made an absolute meal of this for sure. So we've had weird internet connections in different parts of Melbourne, and we've all been in different parts. Now we're all kind of fairly local inside Melbourne, and we can't even get a connection to your house properly. So apologise for that. Berkey's obviously St Andrew's way. Look, we'll do what we do, mate, which isn't much. We'll let you do what you do, and we'll obviously have a chat a little bit more. But once again, thanks for joining us, mate.
It's my absolute pleasure. Yeah, I was a bit worried about the tech side of it, and I still am, to be honest. So hopefully I got enough juice in my battery.
You don't change anything at your end, Ash, and we'll be good, mate. We're perfect.
All right.
You're coming through perfect. And just to let you know, you're coming through perfect. Couple of
Despite
friends of
Aaron
ours are jumping on and posting a comment. So Miriam, that we know well, she's singing along at home. Keith Clarenbold, he's jumped on and said g'day. So Dave Cosmer, another good mate of ours in the show, they're all into and hearing you loud and clear, Ash. So once again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for saying hi, folks out there in internet land. Thank you for saying hello. I haven't done one of these for about a year, I think. These live things, they freak me out. Yeah, to spin out.
Yeah, well, let's just start there, Ash. What do you? Obviously, you're not a massive fan of that, which is incredible, given your technical prowess in the music world. Now, live streams aren't for everyone. There was obviously a big one that came across during the lockdown period called Isolate, which brought so many artists across that I hadn't heard of, and local artists, and then it started to go a little bit more international, and they got 30 or 40 versions of Isolate, which was awesome early, but it was very touch and go in relation to quality of audio and things like that come through. So I don't know, what's your thoughts? Obviously, being a perfectionist yourself a little bit, Ash, not a big fan of that side of things.
I'm a fan of the medium. I'm just not. I don't back my own skills in making it work. Like, I'll probably be upside down and in mirror image and in portrait when I'm meant to be landscape, but it's sort of at odds with my instincts, because I'm a pretty low tech person, truth be told.
Yep.
And this is a thrill. It's a thrill to actually have this thing work tonight. So thank you for your guidance, Aaron.
No problem.
I loved Isolate.
And get it together.
No, it's fine, mate. Like, it's it doesn't, it's only a little technical thing. It's nothing in the big scheme of things, is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the fact that we got a chance to play music last year. Like, we did a live stream from Cherry, and we did one in April last year, delivered live, and I did Isolate solo. I mean, I sort of started to get my head around it, but thankfully things opened up again around November. So it's just because I'm a low tech person. It's not that I have a disdain for technology. I have a limit. Like this, I said to someone the other day, my brain's like a series of canals, and those things that shut. If there's too much tech, then the canal just shuts in my brain.
I tell you what, Ash, you're missing absolutely nothing at all. Trust me. It's I've got 3 kids of my own, and they just can't get enough of the stuff. But it clogs their head half the time. Like, you can't even talk to them. So I think if you've got a clear head without the tech in it, I reckon you're going okay. Wouldn't worry about that too much.
Thanks, mate. You just got to find the balance, don't you, with everything, really?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And mate,
correct.
It's wonderful to hear you in this format, because I've been lucky enough to see you with Even, and also with the Marshmallow Overcoat. And, mate, to hear you like this, it's amazing. So, mate, we're honoured to have you on board, mate. And really
thanks, man. Thanks for the invite. I accept these things reluctantly, knowing that it's a bit fraught technologically, but in terms of having the chance to play music and chat with you folks and give the band a plug, it's a real it's a thrill, because we don't take it for granted. We're not blasé about these opportunities, put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Let's kick back a little bit, Ash, to kind of when music first started to grip you as a youngster. What kind of age were you, and what was it that really got you first that you remember?
I'm pretty sure it was the band The Sweet. And on Countdown, I just remember Mick Tucker's hair. I just thought, that's the coolest haircut in the world. And I remember trying to emulate his hair. I guess I've been trying to emulate his hair for 51 years. But Brian Connolly and Steve Priest and Andy Scott, like The Sweet, man, what a band. Like, they're just an incredible band. And I guess their musicianship might have been, I don't know if it was overlooked. It might have been overlooked, given that they were sort of like a teeny bopper band, but they were an absolute powerhouse rock group, The Sweet. So Fox on the Run was the first single my brother and I shared, and Ego Is Not a Dirty Word by Skyhooks. Which
and what was it specifically, Ash? Was it kind of lyric driven that you kind of remember the punchy choruses, or was it the guitar? Like, what really gripped you that you remember?
With Fox on the Run, like, everything about that song is just perfect. Like, there's no flab, there's nothing questionable about it. Like, it's just from the first synthesizer, the oscillating synth, to the last beat. It's just like perfection. And I think I've probably in some bizarre way, probably judge everything against that, since I was 5 years old. Because just everything about that single is just, for the kind of music that I kind of grew up on, is just like the highest benchmark.
Yep.
So
And then, what age did you pick up the guitar, Ash? Where did that start?
Probably around 9 or 10, I think, when Kiss were kind of popular, and I was trying to teach myself Kiss song. Oh, actually, yeah, I think I picked it up a bit earlier, probably at school, and the nuns at school gave us guitar lessons, and I remember playing some chords to my mum on the phone when I got home from school. That was pretty funny. Yeah. It's just one of those things. I don't know. It's just I had an affinity with it at an early age, and it just never ceases to intrigue me. Like, I watch a Johnny Marr YouTube clip and watch how he plays a Smith song, and it's just like I'm just completely absorbed in how people make things happen on the guitar, And I've been on a quest, I think, probably since childhood to try and create meaningful guitar parts. However simple.
One thing you do incredibly well is tie things together, especially in your solos, and then you go off on your little journeys through both in Even and also in Marshmallow Overcoat, two of your much loved bands. But I know when you get your chance to do your solo and give the 5 minutes of Ash love, it's incredible, man. And what you can mix in there. Just please keep doing that self-indulgence as much as possible. Mate. We love it, and so do so many other Even fans.
Thank you. You're really kind. I know that I don't, and it's not to everyone's tastes, because
sure.
In my mind, in my heart, I've kind of got a lot of guitarists at war with each other. I've got the kind of finger-picking folky guitarist on one side, then the shreddy Dave Gilmour kind of Jimmy Page angel on the other shoulder. So it's like, if that can all coexist, then I'm happy. And I figure, it's such a finite window of opportunity to play music when you're alive. You might as well just make the most of every chance to do it. And if that means shredding out or just going nuts, then I'm just going to do it. Like, I haven't told many people this, but I had an epiphany in about 2004. I saw Prince at Rod Laver, and around the same time that year, I broke my little finger on the beach, playing footy, of course, on the beach, and made a bit of a pact with myself to first get my finger better, and just be more free, just be more free with the music and play more solos and just do it, because I think maybe coming up through the indie ranks, you might have been a bit shy about playing solos. So it was great. People like Jay Mascis and Dave Navarro kind of liberated a lot of the indie mentality of it's okay to play guitar solos, So from 2004 onwards, I just thought, stuff it, I'm just going to go for it. And yeah, so thank you for encouraging me.
Well, I can tell you, anyone that's been to one of your gigs, Ash, will all testify that an Ash guitar solo is 50% of the reason they come.
Well,
I can tell you now.
Very kind. You might be relieved to know that the new Even album is going to be. I've described it as a bunch of guitar solos with a few songs thrown around them.
Perfect.
So hopefully I'll stick true to that.
Lovely. So, question for you, mate.
Yeah, mate. I just want to go back to that, a bit of self-indulging. So I had a choice back at school myself. Well, I didn't have a choice. I was sort of guided by my school that if you want to learn an instrument in life, you go through lessons. You have to have lessons. Now, did you go through, first of all, you said that your school, the nuns, sort of helped you pick up the guitar and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Are you pretty much self-taught though? Because I feel like I've missed an opportunity by listening too much to my teachers, and therefore I went, no. How have you learnt the guitar over these 40 years or so? Like, how have you evolved your skills?
Well, firstly, thank you for your endorsement of the skill set that I may or may not have. But I think for me, it's just listening to records. Like, I played along to records when I was a teenager. I think that's the best education. Like, we didn't have tablature or YouTube clips growing up, so you really had to knuckle down. And sometimes I think I might have spent too much time trying to learn other people's songs, and then have neglected my own songs. But that's easy to say looking back, you know. But also just finding what you like and learning that technique, you know. Like, sometimes lessons are good. I didn't really have any formal lessons, because I sort of think that the style of music that I was into and am into is not something you can really be taught. You kind of just develop skills over time, you know. Just techniques, you know, just little techniques that make your playing unique to yourself. You know, it's interesting when someone shows you one of their riffs and you try and play it and it doesn't come out right because your fingers are a different shape, or just the way you hold the picks different, you know. Like, it all gets down to these little nuances, and I think that's more of a testament to sticking to your own style. I think a lot of the great guitarists are people who are quite idiosyncratic and unique, you know. People like Jimmy Page and Johnny Marr and Neil Young, those kind of people just have different degrees of technicality, but I think a lot of them are self-taught. You know, I don't know how many lessons any of those people had, but
my old man, when he was around, he used to say to me, "If you're going to learn the guitar,
am I back in the show?"
Yes,
You're back.
I'm off the bench.
He's
I'm off
back.
the bench. Ash, Bourke back here again, mate.
hey, Bourke.
Sorry about the technical flaws there earlier, bud. I'm not sure what I've missed and what I've got. So I want to ask a question. Yacht rock. How much percentage-wise? How much better are people that you like yacht rock than don't like yacht rock?
Yacht rock.
Would they be 300 times better than? Would you think?
People who like yacht rock.
Yeah.
Do you classify Boz Scaggs as yacht rock?
Of course. He's the king of yacht rock. Michael McDonald, Steely Dan, Christopher Cross.
You've come in on quite a tangent there, Bourke. I heard. Well, I'm going to show my age now, but I'm just absolutely thrashing Magic 1278, and they play quite a bit of Boz on 1278, and I marvel at those recordings. It's like I said to someone today, there was a Boz Scaggs loop on some playlist, some sort of hip playlist. There was a loop of a Boz Scaggs track, and it's like at some point in the mid 70s, a lot of these rockers decided, I just want to get smooth, you know. They just want to go smooth, and all that yacht rock stuff is. It's like, at what point did they bevel off all the edges and just become smooth? You know, like the Doobie Brothers. Look at the Doobies. They were like kick-ass powerhouse stadium sort of rock band. They turned into something else, which was still great, but it was just like smoothing off and everything sort of being round edges and not
you're
really guitar.
You're probably a bit young, Ash, for the hairbrush and the fan with Roger Voudouris. Is that better get used to it? Is that
absolutely, man? We had that single at home. Yeah. And his nice jump. I think he had a nice V-neck jumper on in the clip too, from memory.
Yeah, he did too. Yeah, a red one or a pink one. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was a comfy look. I tell you, it's a comfy look. The old V-neck.
I was going for it back in those days.
What's that, mate?
I was going for it back in those days. I was going for that look.
Yeah, it was a good look.
Hey, listen, what's coming up for you, mate? I know you've got a lot of stuff on you. The Australia's busiest bloke, gig-wise. So what is coming up?
Well, I've got a little matinee show with the Marshmallow Overcoat this Sunday.
We'll be there.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice 1:30 till 4 p.m. Oh, that's a nice little plug.
Hey.
And then we're going to doing a little tour of Melbourne
Can't
doing
wait.
like
Is that that's the 4 days? Australia Day weekend. Wow.
That's amazing. Look at that. You guys are all over it. This is
Just button
unreal.
pressing. That's why we need the
now
main man
that
Aaron
works.
on there, mate. But yeah, that's going to be big. That's going to be a big one. 4 shows in 4 days.
Yeah, Matty Cotter did that poster, by the way.
He's a ripper.
He's an absolute gem. And,
Man of many talents, isn't he?
he is. Yeah, so Wally had this idea a few months ago. Why don't we just do like a run of shows in June? And I thought, yeah, that looks like a good time to do it. And we all sort of put our heads together, and Wally got all these venues in line, lined them all up, and yeah, we're doing a little tour like they would have done in the 80s. Like bands used to do 4 shows in their hometown. So I guess one of the upsides of the COVID, kind of fallout, for want of a better word, is the venues at limited capacity. Logistically, it does make sense to do a couple of shows at smaller venues, like we did with the Corner. We did 4 shows in 2 days.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, on this occasion, we're doing 4 shows at 4 separate venues with special guest artists on each show. Freya Josephine Hollick, Imperial Leather, Megan Make, and FBT. It's going to be fun because even don't really tour as such anymore because it's hard to sort of string more than 1 or 2 shows together. But to do 4 shows in a row, we'll feel like we're on tour.
Just throw a couple of TV sets out the window and things, mate. That's how it happens.
Yeah,
now,
I wonder how funny we're going to
the guys must have covered how you started and all that sort of stuff, Ash. But so musical influences and all that's no doubt being covered. But I just wanted to ask, Kiss were big. Did you do all the face painting and all that sort of stuff? And
absolutely.
It wasn't just me. Yeah, right.
No, we did it. I remember once we did a concert in the backyard at our joint to my nana. She was the only audience member, my nan. we mimed to a couple of songs, and I think we had 2 Paul Stanleys that day. That was a bit awkward.
Never enough Paul Stanleys, believe me.
I love Paul. Yeah, I mean, Ace was my man, and Ace, he was one of the reasons I fell in love with rock and roll guitar, and I think he was like a signpost to other guitar players before him. Like I realise now how much of Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page and Paul Kossoff is in Ace's playing.
Yeah, right. I played that Paul Kossoff album on the weekend. I was home on Saturday night alone, and I put that Paul Kossoff album on far out.
Oh my God. That was one of my lockdown records I played, and I listened to 145 records during lockdown. I kept a list, and Backstreet Caller was one of them, and it inspired me. It inspired me in a lot of ways, and that was without sounding too self-aggrandizing and self-promoting. It inspired me to do the soundtracks record that I did last year, just purely instrumental and just pure indulgence, like no filter and no editing. Oh, holy cow!
That. It's a ripping album too, Ash.
Well, thanks, buddy. Well, that Backstreet Caller was one of the reasons, but it was like a reminder to me that it is okay to have an 8-minute guitar solo on an album.
Oh yeah, for sure. People dig it.
I think the world needs more guitar solos on albums. Like my theory, it's not really my theory alone, but in the 70s, no one had distractions. Their maybe people's attention span was bigger. You could sit in a field all day, dehydrated, getting sunburnt, and listen to Thorpe and the Aztecs play for, an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost like the iPod generation. Has it spawned a shorter attention span? I don't know. Maybe it has. Maybe it hasn't.
Oh look, we all love the pop songs, but when the solos happen, that's when people go, lose their stuff. That's that gets the juices flowing.
Yeah.
So more of it, I say.
Oh, good. That's good. Good to hear, man. There's a couple of songs on the new Even record that don't have any guitar solos, but it's never too late to chuck one on.
Rock. Let's go, Ash. Give us your best, mate. What are you going to play for us?
I don't know. I was going to do I was going to do a song from the Free Kicks album by Even.
Yeah.
A song that we recorded. I don't think I've told anyone this, but we recorded the drums for this song in a friend's kitchen.
That's great.
And the song's called Donna Maria's Farm, and we recorded it at a home studio in Preston, and the guitar was all done in the front room, but the drums were set up in the kitchen, and Matt used mallets on this track. And if you hear this song, listen out for the drums. They're like legit kitchen drums actually played in the kitchen.
I'll play it again.
Yeah, it's called Donna Maria's Farm. I'll play it and see how if I can get through it, because I haven't played it for a while. How's that balance? Is that okay between guitar and vocal?
Super. Yeah, really good.
All right, let me see if I can get through this. The army trucks, they roll by. Blue clouds were filling up the sky. I knew I'd come to no harm. Down in Donna Maria's farm. It rained for 5 days straight. My head was swinging like a gauge. I'll come to no harm. Down in Donna Maria's farm. Yeah, I know where I'm gonna stay. Should this life wear me away? Yeah, I know where I'm gonna stay. Should this life wear me away? And if I ever feel like rain, I know I'll go back there again. I know I'll come to no harm. Down in Donna Maria's farm, I'll come to no harm. Down in Donna Maria's farm, I'll come to no harm. Down in Donna Maria's farm.
Woo! If I could whistle louder, I would, mate. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Awesome, mate.
Fantastic stuff.
That was magnificent.
So,
Ash, I just wanted
Ash,
to touch on.
if we can take your.
I just wanted to touch. Sorry, Ash. Bergie's going to come back on in 2 seconds. Ash, I just wanted to touch on the Even's latest offering album, Down the Shops. Just tell us a little bit about that one. I love the album cover, mate. It brings back so many memories.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah. That's another Matt Cotter painting.
Absolute ripper. Tell us a little bit about that album and some of the tracks that, were the influence from some of those.
Well, this album was Wally's brainchild. We got together about 3 years ago, I think, and Wal said, "Do you guys mind if I put all the covers together and put them out on Cheer Squad?" And I said, "That's fine." I would have had trouble remembering how to play a lot of them, because sometimes when you, there you go. When you learn a cover and record it, sometimes for me it's like you used up all that space in your internal hard drive, then you sort of forget the song. So the covers date back to about 1995, I think, or 96. The Blondie cover we did at the ESPY. We recorded that live at the ESPY, and the Sex Pistols cover was live at Cherry Bar. A lot of the other songs were done for tribute albums like Hoodoo Gurus, Sunny Boys, and Stems. You know, like bands that we kind of grew up with, and when you're invited to be on a tribute album, it's very flattering. And I don't sort of have the tendency to try and reinvent the wheel. I like to pay homage to the original version. I know it's a little bit. Some people might think it's a bit of a futile exercise, but I like to sort of honour the original and get as close as we can to paying tribute to the original recording. It never occurred to me over that period of time from 96 to 2019 to have all the songs in one place, but it's actually a really good idea now, because they've got their own home, and there's some really nice things on there, things that I'd forgotten that we'd done, you know.
Yeah, love it, Ash. Just while you're touching on that, Ash, and paying homage to the original and stuff like that, just tell us a little bit about the Midnight Oil tribute you did with the anniversary of the Species to Cecies album.
Oh, okay. That was another little odd thing. I'm going to sound like a dirty name dropper now. Have I got permission to name drop?
Absolutely, mate.
By all means, mate.
We'll do it.
We drop your name.
This is my disclaimer. Okay, this is my disclaimer to people out there. I'm going to mention a few heavy hitters in the Australian rock fraternity now. It's a strange chain of events that led to me doing this Hercules cover. Okay, so name drop number one. I was doing this soundtrack with Daniel Johns from Silverchair. Myself and some friends from Sydney. Yeah, name drop number one. We were doing this soundtrack to an animated Beatles cartoon called Beat Bugs. We were doing Beatles covers, and guest people were doing the lead vocals. So we're recording at Jim Magini's studio, name drop number two. Okay, so
nice work.
I'm in this fertile kind of Oils fanboy moment right now. I'm in Jim Magini's studio with Daniel Johns, and we're playing Beatles songs, and we're just guitaring out and geeking out on all this kind of guitar stuff. And Brett, the engineer, was just pulling these amazing sounds. And then while I was up there, my brother said, "Oh, you realise it's the 30th anniversary of Species to Cecies?" And I thought, wow. So unbeknownst to my brother, I recorded a version of Hercules as a little sort of birthday present to him. So it was unreleased for 5 years. So it was like a present to him. Jim came to visit at the end of one of these sessions, and he got wind of the fact that I was doing a version of Hercules, and next thing you know, Jim's playing guitar on the end of it with me, and it was just like, yeah, it was very surreal, you know, because let me be perfectly frank, Jim Magini and Martin Rozzi are two alchemists in my mind. They're like, their guitar work in the 80s was like a religion to me, as it was Peter and Marty in the Church, you know, and Johnny Marr. These kind of people were like, in the absence of religion, they were like gods to me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So to be playing in Jim's studio and have him play with me on something that I'd done, it was mind blowing. Yeah, it was just one of those things. There was no ulterior motive. That wasn't recorded for any commercial gain or any commercial kind of motives. So that's why it stayed in the can for 5 years. But when the 35th anniversary of Species came up, I asked Jim if he'd be happy if I released the digital single and the funds go to Support Act, and he was happy with that. So we did that. Yeah.
Good man.
Very kind. Yeah. Such a great, worthy cause.
Well, you just got to do what you can, because as you all well know, in the industry itself, so many people were just completely decimated last year with regards to their work life, completely blown out of the water. A lot of people that I know and work with were just overnight. That's it.
Yeah.
No work, nothing.
Yeah.
And the support mechanism wasn't there, was it, straight away? It's not.
Not straight away. Thankfully, the JobKeeper thing kicked in, but some people weren't eligible for that, and it was just really hard for so many people. It's sort of, you can't really overstate it. What the impact was on the industry, the people who make shows happen. And it's we're the lucky ones who get to trot out on stage and do that stuff. But there's so much infrastructure involved in getting a tour or a show up and running, and a lot of these people were just, that's it. There's nothing else. We get to play online, and we got to do occasional gigs that were paid gigs online as well. Like delivered live and some subscription kind of shows. But yeah, anyway, I'm waffling now, but
It's a fair point you make, though. Sorry, Cuz, I know you got a question, but it's a fair point you make. I mean, we're looking for gigs all the time, and until such time, I reckon certainly our state government down here has a bit of courage and just starts opening up pubs and clubs far more than what they currently are. Get rid of all the restrictions. Hopefully there's a lot more gardens that we see all of a sudden pop up, or someone's farm, or whatever the case may be, because we're just not seeing guys with the talents that you've got. So many other guys that we know, they're just not out there often enough at the moment. It's just really frustrating. It's just shit, if I put it bluntly. It's just it's really frustrating to have to try and search for gigs, and without a guy like Aaron and Bourke and a bit of a network, you'd almost have no idea what's going on, and that goes back to you guys. I mean, you guys have to try and market and advertise yourselves as best you can outside of that, and it's just it's probably going to take another 12 months to get that back up and running properly. But like I said, hopefully there's a bit of courage from the government very, very soon to say, well, pubs and clubs, you can get back to packed houses.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a slow process for every industry, and ours is no exception. I will say this, though: I'm trying to adopt the half full mentality with regards to returning to live music. Because for me, I was fortunate enough to start back up again in November last year. So it's kind of a house of matchsticks. We'll do a lot of little gigs and just keep our hand in that way. Just keep our expectations kind of realistic. And look, I'm one of the lucky participants, so I can only speak from my perspective. And I know a lot of people who are only play with one artist, for example, and that artist might be based interstate or internationally, and therefore they don't have a gig. So I feel like I'm very fortunate, and I'm lucky that I'm in a few situations that enables me to go out and play music and continue to do what I did before 2020. So yeah, look, I mean, hopefully that everyone sort of gets back into it as the venues start opening up a bit more.
And just on that, Ash, how good was it to finally get your chance to grace that stage with the church, mate? And obviously integral part of the band now, mate. I can't wait to see you at your next gig. Obviously April Sun was one that kicked it off not long ago. So you finally got to do it, mate. Yeah,
it was one of the greatest nights I can recall. I won't lie to you, it was just magical. This coming week, I've been in the band for 2 years.
It's crazy, eh? Crazy.
Yeah.
So that gives you some kind of perspective on how things panned out for a lot of artists. We started an album in 2019, which we're trying to finish off. Look, it was just one of those things that came up through serendipity, really. And I know a lot of people kind of make comments about how many bands I'm in, but the thing is, my mum taught me to work hard, you know, and I'm going to honor her legacy. And when you get a chance to work with people you love and music you love, you'd be mad not to do it, you know. But that, I got to say, that was a beautiful night, and playing that music was just, you know, obviously there was an element of anxiety involved because I wanted to get it right, and I clunked a few transitions between bits and pieces, but the overall feeling was just a very positive one, and that music is just on another level. Like the church music is something else, you know, like as you all know, like it occupies its own space in the pantheon of rock and roll. Like, you know, I'm lucky I get to play with some great artists, and I've learned a lot, you know, like playing with Paul and Steve and these kind of people, and Vicar and Linda. You learn so much, and the Pete Luscombes of the world, you know, people you learn from as you're going, and you know, yeah. All right, so I'm waffling again. That was a great night.
That's right, absolutely it was. I want to just quickly touch on a couple of great nights, and I put this one down as was gig of the year for me, and it was about the only Marshmallow Overcoat gig that Bourke missed, and I've passionately let him know every time. And there is another one coming up at this same venue, but this
Bourke.
one was the epic 1 hour
Ash,
encore.
I did want to ask a song.
Marshmallow Overcoat.
I did.
This was Macedon Railway.
That was also one of my favourite gigs. That was just epic.
Sure was. Absolutely was.
That was
James Fleming on piano that night, and
yeah,
it was just it's a great venue too. Like Lorena at the venue really looked after us, and it's one of those bands where it's just a joy because you don't have to carry the weight of the songs because the songs have already been written, and there's no hang up about, oh, is this a shit song or is this a great song? Or like, you just play great songs with great people, with your mates, and so that element's taken out. That sort of anxiety of being in a band is kind of eradicated because you're just playing songs you love from the 60s, and all of us in that band are real 60s nuts, you know. We're just obsessive 60s music lovers. So thank you for remembering that show. It was quite something else, that gig at Macedon.
Sure was. Look forward to doing it again.
Thanks for reminding me. It's the only Marshmallow Overcoat show I haven't been to, Ash.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bourke, you can be my guest at the next one at the Macedon show, mate. Next Macedon one, and we'll try and reheat the souffle, as we say.
Hey, is there punch-ons, Ash, of who gets the lead in favourite songs with the Overcoat with you and Davey? And
nah, it's like a. Are we allowed to say the term gentleman's agreement?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, right.
Are we allowed to still say that?
No, but you know, we'll edit that out.
We'll bring it back.
All right. I'll rephrase it. It's an unwritten agreement.
Great.
Amongst the members that if we have a little message to each other, we say, "Oh, I wouldn't mind having a crack at, you know, For Your Love," or I wouldn't mind having a go at this and that. And then I think it's just a case of whoever's sort of got a bit of a handle on it. You know, we don't really draw straws about who plays bass or guitar because secretly, Davey and I both love playing bass and love playing guitar.
You can tell. Yeah, you get on there and you really kill it. It's great.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to give the bass back.
Now, I do actually want to ask one more too, if I could. Sorry, guys. I'm not hogging, but I'm in my element here. Playing with Dom, you know, seeing you up on stage I've seen the Stems many times. Every time they come over from WA, playing with Dom Mariani, I'm looking up there and there's you and Davey playing with Dom Mariani. Going, wow, how good is it? You know.
Oh, well, speaking of amazing artists you learn from, Dom Mariani, man, he is an absolute star. Like, an absolute star. Like his guitar playing is just I think it's in its own league, with regards to Australian rock and roll front people.
Yep.
I get to stand next to the guy and hear him blasting his Marshall.
Yeah.
The EPA should put out a warning. It's pretty loud.
You can see looking over sometimes. You can see when you're playing, you see looking over, and you're just sitting there going, far out. This is it. It's great.
Because Dom's just a pure musician. He's a music lover and just a brilliant songwriter and a brilliant guy. Like again, another surreal chain of events that led to me playing with the Stems, and then Davey coming in as well. It was just beautiful. Like, yeah, look, I'm happy to be the Malcolm to his Angus, if you know what I mean.
And then you ran out of songs at the end of the encore. You did about 4 songs at the encore. It was one of the Northcote Social Club shows, and you did a bad thing. You rocked out no matter what or something. Was that?
No matter what, yeah. Oh man,
that was great.
How long have we got? Can we go on a bad thing?
Keep rolling, mate.
We could go forever. One thing I wanted to touch on, Ash.
If I'm still on, I'm going to ask my last.
All right, sorry, Bourke can't.
Who's left on the hit list for you to play with? As in, who'd you get? Who would you want if there's anyone left?
Oh man, it's such a crazy hypothetical. Oh man, can I get back to you at Macedon on that one?
We'll discuss it another time. I'll let the boys take over.
The thing is, a lot of the people you want to play with are already doing what you do, so it's kind of like you make yourself obsolete. Like I'd love to play with Jimi Hendrix, but what would I play with Jimi Hendrix? It's like kicking the footy. It's like a kick in the footy with an AFL footballer. Like, you realise. Anyway, yeah. Look, it's, geez.
I'll give you some time to think about it. We'll chat about it another time. Yeah. I'll let the guys take over, mate.
You've stumped me officially.
Great. Well, hey, we'll see you Sunday, though.
All right, mate.
If Bourke's stuck with that, Ash,
sorry,
I'll
mate.
go with the next one then. Every guest we have on, I like to ask them, you're having a dinner party.
Yeah.
And you can invite 5 people. Now, they can be living or dead. Who are the 5 people to invite?
Who would I invite?
Yeah.
Another hard question.
Again.
All right. Who would I invite? Okay. Noam Chomsky.
Oh.
Peter McKenna.
Peter McKenna.
Helen Reddy. Roberta Flack.
Wow.
And Tommy Hafey.
T-shirt, Tom.
T-shirt. Now, a bit of a footy theme in there, mate. Is that a fair call? You obviously love your footy.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I do. I do. And
a bit of a Collingwood flavour in there as well too.
The only person that can't sing in those 5 is Tommy Hafey. We
don't know. Tommy might have been able to sing back in the day.
Oh, he could yell.
Yeah. So yeah. I think that'd be a good blend of genders and backgrounds there.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Good. We always throw a few questions up Ash, that aren't scripted or whatever. So we really appreciate your fire answer of not thinking about it or preparing for it and just rolling with that, especially that dinner question. It's a great one. So Cuz rolls that one out religiously and we love it. So it really gets a good reaction. And it's always a different mix for sure. But one thing I wanted to touch on was I put on the Even Appreciation Society Facebook page just your favourite pick of Ash, and I posted a comment to a few people, and this will be interesting, Ash. But to be fair, it's they're all really good ones. So I'd like to just bring up a couple here. Joanne Ginn,
photos, mate. You'll be right.
Post one. This one was a ripper. Look at that big hair.
Wow.
Robert Smith.
Serious.
It's like I think it's like if Kim Salmon and Robert Smith had a baby.
Absolutely. So that one was from Joanne Ginn. Another one from Kevin Lynch. I'll just bring this one up. Favorite one of Ash. It's an absolute ripper.
That was when I
So
got
that
my arm. That's when I got my arm extension operation.
Yeah, that's quite a good one. One other one from John Baxter. This is a ripper.
Oh, Johnny.
One thing Ash is definitely known for is colourful and bright and eclectic shirts, and a bit like Bourke, to be honest. And anyone that doesn't follow Ash on Instagram, look him up and find him, and some great little collections, details of some of the shirts you've been wearing over the years, Ash, recently.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, it's a bit of a sideline to what you do in this caper. You I sort of think of it like being in a band's like fancy dress every day of your life. Like at school, if you had uniform, I went to both schools I went to had uniforms, and whenever it was free dress, you just thought, what am I going to wear? And every day as a muso is a beautiful, thrilling treat of what am I going to wear today? And I try and take that to whatever level I can. Sometimes I like a black T-shirt. Sometimes I like a Bourke kind of floral number.
There we go. And I'm sure Bourke's going to wheel out another one on this Sunday. And just a last pick from Justin.
Hey, mate.
Justin Hero.
Ash, we've used up. Oh, that's a nice one.
That is a nice one. The one pick I've seen with Ash without a guitar.
Okay. And she looks like you're spraying light out of the top of your head.
Well, I can't see. I can just see my fat head reflecting back at me. So
That's a charming head as well. Hey, Ash, we've run up to an hour. We're only supposed to go for 45 minutes. We don't want to take up too much of your time. I'd love to stay and chat for hours, and it's happened before.
I'm at your disposal.
Have we got time for another track? Have you got another track in you? Would you think, Ash, to finish off with?
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just going to have a little hydration.
Yeah, you go.
Just before you do,
we've got a bit of a special occasion on Sunday too. It's actually one of Aaron's decent birthdays, so he's going to be celebrating. So it's going to be a wild old time in Brunswick.
Oh, beautiful! That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. They're all decent.
Should be fun.
You get to have it on.
Well, is it? Oh, okay. So there's time for one more song.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
hopefully. Yeah.
I might indulge in a cover if that's okay.
Absolutely.
You go right ahead.
All right. Okay.
You're indulging us, mate. Believe me.
This is a wonderful song by Chris Bailey when he was in the Saints. I guess he's still in the Saints. And before I play this song, I want to share a nice anecdote with yous. Davey Lane, my brother in rock, my beautiful compadre, he did a gig with Chris and Pat Bourke a few years ago as the Saints at the Gasso, and I don't know how it transpired, but Chris needed to borrow an amp off me, so I lent him my Marshall head and box, and obviously I'm not going to charge Chris Bailey to use my amp. I'm just going to lend it unconditionally. And I said to Shan, who ran the pub, or Davey, just get Chris to sign my Marshall head for me. So he drew a little Saint stick figure with CB on it. It's awesome. It's there for eternity now. So I'm going to sing a Saint song for you.
Ripper.
Okay. Ghost ships are sailing on empty seas. The light that was in the darkness, it doesn't shine on me like an old run to find the shore, and the light that was in your eyes doesn't shine there anymore. So wait until tomorrow, darling, then we'll see. I don't know about tomorrow.
night, and I feel that I must be hypnotized. So wait until tomorrow, and darling, then we'll see. I don't know about tomorrow. I see that those ships are sailing on empty seas, and the light that was in the darkness, it doesn't shine on me like an old man on run to find the shore, and the light that was in your eyes, maybe doesn't shine anymore. Wait until tomorrow, and darling, then we'll see. I don't know about tomorrow.
Sterling effort, Ashley, John.
Thank you very much.
That was great, mate.
And gang, thanks for having me tonight. It's been lovely.
Get out of town. We're happy to have you, mate. As I say, we
How
could
about
talk to you for hours, mate, and we'd love to, but time is pressing. We could let you back to your family and back to your real life. Absolute, as normal, absolute joy to chat to you, mate.
Likewise.
Love you and your brother and your family, and hopefully we'll catch up soon, and we'll have a couple of ales.
Yep. Back.
Ladies and
at you,
gentlemen,
mate.
Ashley Naylor. Mwah. See you, mate.
See you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, mate.
Kaz. Thanks, Lovey.
Great to
Thanks,
meet you,
Aaron.
mate.
Thanks,
Great
Rick.
to see
See you
you.
on Sunday. Thanks, Ash.
Bye, mate.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ashley Naylor. How good. Get out on Sunday and see him. Make sure you catch him with his other mates in the even on Australia Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's going to be an absolute ripper. How many of those are we going to, lads? Make sure we get to a few at least. I just want to say again, thanks for giving us the platform, guys, to show off and showcase these wonderful artists and these wonderful people you keep on getting on. And as great job, mate. Can't wait to celebrate with you on Sunday. But as I alluded to at the start of the show, lots of love to the family, the close family, and little Jordan. We're thinking of you, and you're going to be sadly missed. And there she is. All the best, folks. Lots of love, and I'm out. Cheers.
Well done, Berkey.
On your Berkey, you're a star, mate.
See you, legend.
How good was it to have Berkey? Just little disappointing that we it was a bit choppy and Berkey couldn't really hear that when we were on and things like that. So anyway, that's how we roll on this show, mate. We make it up as we go. It's all for a bit of fun. It was so awesome to have Ash on, and we look forward to having him on again. Maybe next time we might try and get either Marshmallow Overcoat together, the three guys, or maybe even the three guys together as even. Will be fantastic to see. So, boys, I know it was a choppy one, but we got through it. And look, I really want to just re-emphasize again, we're obviously honouring the life of Jordan, who was a friend of Berkey's, just a young girl that loved music, and that's what we are, mate, young guys that love music. So thank God we get out there to enjoy it, and genuinely we could tell from Ash that he really loved being with us on the show, mate, and that's what this was about. being able to have a chat and jump on and share what's going on in your lives, really. Cuz I know you've had your challenges recently with loss of a job, mate, and luckily, for one person's loss is another one's gain, mate. It's really good to been working with you for the last few weeks.
Oh, mate, look, I'm very lucky to have you two both. Look, I work with you Monday to Friday, and I work with the wise man in the top corner on a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday now. He stepped up and taken over the main role at Lilydale. Unfortunately, our coach had to step down for personal reasons. And, mate, I'm blessed. You're two of my best mates, and you do the support and friendship you've given me, the both of you, it's very much appreciated from me and also from my family as well.
No worries at all, mate.
All good and fun and war, mate. But I'll tell you what, Aaron, how do you monitor the young fella in the top right corner there? What's the criteria to make sure he's actually doing a good job or not? Is it not picking his ears, or is it does he wash his hands before he touches merchandise and stuff? What's the go there?
I think turn a blind eye or get out of the way has been my model. But to be honest, Cuz is a quick learner, mate. That's one thing I said when I was a reference to him on a couple of jobs, is he's not afraid to have a shot. But to be honest, it's all in the training. So Cuz is always a work in progress, no doubt. He's a work in progress as an assistant coach. To be honest, Lovey, if you're stepping into a role mid-season now as a head coach, as we know, mate, you can't have a better loyal assistant that'll stand next to you. So I know we're pumping each other's tyres a little bit here, mate, but it's great. And I really look forward to coming out and hearing some quarter-time speeches and three-quarter-time speeches from you boys in the next few weeks.
Now, I've heard from a little mouse that lives in Montmorency next to you, Aaron, that you might be out there on Saturday afternoon. Is that confirm or deny?
It's a possibility at this stage. Got a few things on. Nice. I know I've got to get back for something that's come up in the last 24 hours, so it might have to rest a week. I might give you a week or at least a week for you guys to ease into the role, into the role, and do a demo, so to speak, and then you'll be ready to unleash a good quarter-time or three-quarter-time speech, I'm sure.
I can give you Ronald Dale, I could give you Paul Roos, I could give you whatever you want.
I look forward to it.
You're just not seeing the AEST stuff we're probably doing before the game, that's all.
Yeah, just on that, we normally use that as part of our show, and obviously it was very choppy at the start of this show, so it's fair to say. So our famous number 34 for you boys. Have you got one?
Michael Thompson.
There you go. Didn't have to think about that one.
Excellent back flanker.
Michael
Thompson. Yeah.
I was going to say Merv Nagel.
Righto.
He had the 34 before Michael Thompson.
Yeah.
I'll go with the 34.
Then there's
34 from Melbourne.
Yep.
Stephen Newport.
Nah. I reckon he was 14.
Did Jeff White have 34?
I think he's 14, Newport.
34, Stephen Newport.
Very handsome man, very good hair. A lot of hair.
Absolutely. He was a very sharp-looking guy, that's for sure. And another famous 34, Shaq.
I've got Charles Barkley.
Am I mistaken?
Shaquille.
Who?
Did Shaq wear 34 or 32?
Yes. Shaq at the Lakers wore 34.
Pretty sure he wore 34. He wasn't good enough to take Magic's number, that's for sure. They retired that.
That was already in the rafters before he even got there, I think.
Sure was. I'd love to see him drag him down, to be honest. Drag him down from the rafters and give someone else a challenge to wear him these days. Yeah, absolutely. And good mate of mine, fellow Demon, he's obviously backed me with Stephen Newport there. So, guys, I want to have another show. I know we've had a few weeks between shows as life kind of gets busy again. And it was great that Ash popped up and was able to jump on. So we're going to do another show, and we're going to catch up with one of our first guests, actually, Ryan Sterling. We're going to catch up with him in the next few weeks. He's trying to work on a Wednesday or a Sunday, but it may have to be a special Thursday night. So I'm not sure if you boys are going to be able to make that with footy commitments, obviously. And then we might plan another Sunday kind of wrap. I know we're going to start talking mental health and stuff soon. So really
Yep.
look forward to being able to do that in the next couple of weeks. But for now,
Sounds really good.
I look forward to dinner, and then I look forward to a little nap, and then I'll be back at it at work bright and early tomorrow. So, Cuz, look forward to seeing
Look
you.
forward to it, mate.
What
Love
time
you.
do you get
Have a
Cuz
good
in
rest
there?
of the week.
7
What time do
o'clock,
you get
Alan.
Cuz in there?
7 o'clock, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'd still be in bed, wouldn't you?
I don't get up before 8 o'clock, mate.
That's so true, too. So
Yeah.
true.
On that
Good
note,
to hear. All right, boys. We'll wrap this up. Let's catch up
Righto.
soon. That was episode 34 of So What's Been
Yeah,
Happening.
kids.